Hi everybody. So live streaming here from live from Broxbourne in Hertfordshire. So I'll just let the participants in. Hi Frederick, good to see you.
Good evening. Hello.
Hi, where are you calling in from?
From Switzerland.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I'm impressed. I don't think I've had anyone international on my um live streams before, but anyway, great to see you.
Thank you.
Yeah, would you like to give so just so I know, could you give a bit of background about yourself and
Um,
what you're interested in and so on?
Grew up in Western Switzerland, so my mother tongue is French, but I went to school in German. I studied law and international business management and sustainable engineering. So I'm building up my startup, and that's why I'm very interested about your topic.
Okay, so what's your startup in?
That's going to be like a new community about sustainable economy to give
Okay,
them market power for giving market power for services, but also products or producers who are sustainable in terms of social sustainability, but also ecology and economically.
interesting. Okay,
Yes.
so sustainability, I normally just think of ecology, but
But it's also like how to explain? We will give the approval that everything is sustainable or on the way to be sustainable. So trying to avoid giving certificates, but also trying to avoid putting products on the market which are greenwashed. The consumer are often not really aware or mostly, how do you say, in a wrong, yeah, I mean, the advertisements they are not ever always very true. So we
of
give
course,
them
yeah, we all know.
a
So,
certain
yeah,
level of quality that it is sustainable.
fantastic. That's great. And we've got someone else on the line, Suha Radhi. Um, Great to see you. Where are you calling in from? I've also got chat open, so you can also type it there if you like. But what I'm going to do anyway, so I better make a start. So what I'm going to do, I'll just share my screen. Hang on a second. And someone else has just joined us. Uh, Hi, Alexandra. Good to see you. Where are you calling in from? You can put it in chat if you like, because I'm just about to start the presentation. So, well, first of all, a few words about myself, I suppose. Why am I qualified to give this talk? So, I qualified as a chartered accountant at Deloitte. I spent most of my working life in industry, first group accountant, then group financial controller, which meant number two to the financial director. So it meant basically doing all the number crunching, all the monthly management accounts for the directors, all the graphs and so on. And then for very large companies, and then I was also number one FD, CFO for 50 million pound turnover companies. But now I realise there's a big gap in the market. A lot of SMEs, smaller companies really need someone like me, just on a part-time basis where I could just go in and help them make sense of their numbers because I'm really shocked how many um, businesses I go into and the owners have just got no idea if they're making a profit or loss. And basically, quite often they're making a loss because they see money in the bank and they just think that means they're okay. Whereas in fact, it's just because they're effectively being funded by HMRC uh, because they are, they only pay the corporation tax 9 months after their year end. Okay, let's try and get this going. So, so there's three advantages of unlocking your growth. One is your path to control. You can then start to control your business with data-driven insights rather than just sitting back and watching things happen and feeling powerless to do anything about it. You also become more confident because you can really understand what's going on, so you can make much better decisions. And of course, the whole point at the end of the day is cash. By understanding all this, you can go forward with a path to cash with tangible business results. So, this is what I'm going to take you through today. Now, I mean, it's quite a shocking statistic. I was really shocked when I first saw this. I hadn't really thought about it before. I just thought, every business who wanted to exit, it would be quite easy to find someone to buy it. But the more I learnt about this, I realised it's not the case because most businesses are actually unsellable. No one would be interested in them, maybe because they're too dependent on the owner, because their finances are in a mess, or because, uh, yeah, they haven't got the necessary systems in place. Uh, then we're looking at the six drivers of profit. So people normally just think it's their turnover. They just say, "Oh, my turnover's gone up," and they just think that's enough, but it's not. There's all these other KPIs, the drivers, which I'll be talking about. Then I'll talk about a case study, proving that you can increase profit without growing revenue. And then I'll talk about how growth can actually kill cash flow. In fact, growing too fast is one of the main reasons why companies actually go bust, because by growing fast, it means they just need a lot more working capital. And if they don't do things in a planned way, um, yeah, they can actually go bankrupt. They just run out of cash. They can't pay anyone, and things go wrong very quickly. So cash flow forecast is crucial to this, and painting a sort of scenario and following it. So, and also talk about three actions you can take to increase your profit and control, and an opportunity to book a fast growth strategy session with me. So, uh, let's crack on with this. So many business owners I see in this position. They're really busy, they're firefighting, they don't have time to really look at their data. And even if they did look at their data, they're maybe not trained as accountants, so maybe they don't really understand very much about it. They maybe just understand a couple of things like the profit, the turnover, but they don't really know how accurate those figures are. And when their accountant talks to them, they just sort of start to glaze over. It's like the accountants are on a different planet. They use all this jargon, and it doesn't seem very helpful. And quite often, a lot of them just have accountants that come in once a year to do the tax filing. They're basically on their own as well during the year. So, what does the owner do? They make gut decisions, but they could just turn out to be wrong. Uh, and they're never really sure if they're profitable or just lucky. So this is financial fog, which a lot of companies are in. So this is what we need to focus on, these six variables. Um, so let's start here. Purchase frequency, the amount of times someone purchases. Okay, for the same customer, you can persuade them to purchase twice as often, then your revenue goes up. Uh, your gross margin percentage is not just about turnover, it's also about um, gross profit as a percentage of the turnover, which means controlling your cost of sales. which means getting good operations in place. Sometimes people get a fractional chief operations officer to control the um, costs, to give a better margin. Um, Overheads, of course, yes, have to keep the overheads down, but sometimes we have to invest in things, like accountants, for example, because sometimes things are false economy. If you reduce overhead so much, maybe you're not giving your business the oxygen to survive. But it's also more often the case overheads are too high because every business owner has so many demands on them from all sides to pay more for this, pay more for this, get more, get this, that we really have to control the overheads, compare them against budgets, forecast, previous years, and so on, and just make sure they don't get out of control. Customer acquisition. This is all to do with marketing, your sales pipeline, converting the lead into a sale. So there's always different stages of the pipeline that you have to get right. So I think it's really good also to split test everything. You could, if you use outside marketing agencies, split test, get to different ones, compare. At the end of the day, the proof of the pudding is in the results. It's all in the data. So just see which one works best, and also your salespeople, their closing techniques, and so on. Customer retention. It's a lot easier to resell to an existing customer than to get a new one. So it's very, very important to keep your existing customers happy. And if a customer does leave you, then you should really pay attention to why they left you and try and, whatever reason it was, try and fix that so other customers don't leave you in the same way. And also try and, if you provide an excellent service, you keep in good communication with them, uh, then there's no particular reason why they should leave you, but you have to be very open to any like warning signs that they're thinking of leaving. And the final KPI, profit driver, is transaction value. So every transaction, if you can increase the value, then you make more money. So this can be done in two ways. So it could just be done by selling the same thing for a higher price, which means better marketing, better selling, better positioning, or it could be giving extra value, increasing the quality of what you sell, maybe upselling, packaging things together to increase the transaction value. So, there's has anyone got any questions so far or comments on any of these?
Maybe one question. These
Yeah,
are
go on.
all external variables, but I think, or isn't that internal awareness about keeping the employees in the company gives also a certain profit because you don't need to search after new employees.
Keep your, yeah. This is what, okay, is this a point about sustainability? So, is that one of the things that you're thinking maybe in your startup as well? But you're right. Um, if you keep good staff, then what will happen is your overheads will be lower because every time you get a new staff, it's going to be really difficult to
Reduce the
expensive
cost.
to train them because there's always a learning curve,
Mm.
and maybe the new one won't be as good as the old one. And this would affect both your gross margin and overheads because some of your staff costs would be in cost of sales, and some would be in overheads. Yeah, that's a good point. But with zero, we see the thing is what I'm showing you is the drivers that are very visible in your accounting software. Um, the quality of the staff and so on, how happy they are, how motivated. That's like a whole, that's a whole different area, which is important. But I suppose today was just sort of focusing on the things that are easy to track. You can just, all this, if you're using Zero, QuickBooks Online, or Sage Cloud, it just syncs into the software that I use and it just gives these figures. where something like how happy the staff are is sort of a bit more nebulous, harder to measure. Okay, so in this case, this case study, it's very simple case study. It's not. It's basically it just shows in this case revenue goes down slightly from 1,003,000 to 1,001,000. Uh, but let's say your gross profit percentage goes up from 34% to 35%. Uh, that gives you £9,000 extra gross profit. And let's say you manage to reduce your overheads by 10,000. That means you've increased your net profit uh, from 60 to 79,000, which is an increase of 32%. It's a very simple example, but it just demonstrates it's not all about the turnover, which is what most people focus on. We have to look at the other factors. Okay. So these are the six factors again. Uh, so you haven't actually, so I don't know if any of you have a business. So I know you've got a startup, Frederick, so you actually don't haven't actually started yet. I don't know if any of the other people have got a business, or which of these drivers do you think would be the weakest?
From my perspective, at the moment is the frequency, how often customer will buy,
Yeah. Okay.
because this gives me the budget for the overheads
Yeah.
and the profit sale and keeping the customers
Yes. And I think
acquisition.
a lot of that depends on, well, what sort of product you're selling. Some high ticket item, in some cases you just, like if you're selling cars, you just sell them a car and you probably won't sell them another one for a few years. Whereas something like a supermarket where you have to go there every week, that the frequency is built into the product to some extent, but to some extent we can also control it. We can, in the same way we can retain clients, acquire new ones, we can also try and sell to them more often. Um, Cash flow. We need to focus on cash flow. People think it's enough to make a profit. People don't focus enough on cash. Growth needs fuel. Growing a company needs cash. Suppose your revenue grows by 50%. You need to fund bigger stock, or if it's a service company, you need to get more staff to fulfill the service. So more money, inventory, staff, etc., is tied up. More cash is tied up. Maybe debtor days goes up. Maybe people are a bit slower to pay. Um, if it just can take one large client, one large contract that don't pay that can really cripple a company's cash flow. Um, and then it's also very hard to know at what point to start getting harder with that customer because you don't want to lose the sale. But on the other hand, at some point, you might have to take stronger action against them, like stopping selling them or even taking them to court. More working capital. As we grow, we need additional operational expenses. Uh, so it could be, for example, profit could go up by 39,000, but maybe your cash would go down by 59,000 in the short term. In the longer term, of course, everything would sort of catch up, but it's the short term that could bankrupt you if it's not managed. So we have to focus on these stats as well. Debtor days, uh, which is so debtor days are calculated as whatever's in your debtors or age receivables uh, divided by your annual sales divided by 365. So your whatever your average sales per day is, you just divide the debtors by that figure. And so 72 is a long time. Uh, most, a lot of companies say have 28, paid by 28 days. So any longer than that indicates maybe they've got some bad debts in there. Maybe they've sold an item, they're never going to get the money, but instead of writing it off their books, they keep it in there, and this is an indication where that might be happening. Um, so in this example, high debtor days has a negative cash impact to 98,000, whereas lower debtor days gives you a cash win. So here are some examples of quick wins you could do. You could offer bundles to increase the transaction value, combine products or services to boost the average sales amount. Maybe you could review the pricing and gross margins. Okay, so this is another thing you could do with the gross margins. There's the 80/20 rule. If you are able to split out in your nominal ledger your different types of products and services and also the costs of those, you might see that one type of product or service makes a lot of your gross margin, whereas other types of product or service are not really very profitable, but they might take a lot of time to deliver. And then the answer would be to, phase those out, maybe just stop selling that line completely and focus on what gets you the most money. But in order to do that, you have to track everything to give you that knowledge. Maybe you need to tighten your invoice terms and credit control review. Look at your age receivables, see what's outstanding, see what's old, write it off if it's really uncollectible. Maybe tighten your invoice terms. Maybe chase your debtors faster. Maybe phone them up, send them emails, and so on to get money in quicker. Uh, and then you could speak to a client about increasing purchase frequency. Just explore opportunities for increasing this. Maybe if it's a big client and they want a different type of product or service, and then they'd buy that more often, maybe you could give that. So what we're looking really is we're not trying to do anything dramatic. We're trying to look for small, even small gains, because the power of compounding can have dramatic effect. So, which of the six drivers is least measured in your business? Look at your blind spots. Uh, do you know your average transaction value and margin percentage? These fundamental metrics drive profitability. And are you making strategic decisions or gut reactions? Have you, what do you think, Frederick?
Sorry, again?
Yeah. Well, no, I just wondered, oh, you don't really have a business yet, do you? So you can't really,
Not really, but
yeah.
I was thinking to do like a prepaid account. So the
Okay.
transaction is very short, so they have to prepaid
Yeah,
before they go shopping.
of course. That's the
So
idea. Yeah.
I keep the client more narrow, but it's
Yeah.
also safer for them, and at least everything is a bit cheaper than usual because I don't have additional cost by sending bills,
Yeah.
and the
I mean,
transaction is
I
fast.
mean, it depends on the type of product or service, of course, but if you can get them to do that, that is definitely the best. And that's what I do as well. Because I suppose with my clients also, I'm looking for a long-term relationship. So I
Mm,
just get a monthly fee at the beginning of the month, and I'm looking for the long term. But the last thing I want to be doing is chasing them every month.
exactly.
I'll just show you this. This is dummy data. So in this example, this is TY's this year. This shows So the last 12 months, this is last year, the previous 12 months. So this shows the number of new customers, existing customers, with the percentage retained, which is that 96 divided by 188. Is that figure? Number of invoices per customer. So these are all the same KPIs we were talking about. So what this is saying is that if we can increase these by relatively small achievable amounts, then because of the power of compounding, we're increasing all of these and they're compounding together and they're also compounding over a 5-year period. We would increase the EBITDA, the earnings before interest, tax, depreciation and amortization from 110,000 to 1.4 million, which is a massive increase. And that, of course, also will increase the valuation of the company. In this example, would be from 360,000 to 3.8 million. So it shows what this table does. It shows a pathway to growing a business. Um, and then the next step is to track all of these every month. So now, by this we have some sort of budget or forecast or target what we want to do. And then the next step is to track it. So in this report, this tracks all these same things by month, by quarter, uh, and the last 12 months, comparing the figures with the previous May in this case, or the previous quarter, whatever the last 3 months are, with the same 3 months last year, and the last 12 months against the last 12 months the previous year. And here you see the same drivers again. So in this example, they've retained more customers, they get a tick, but everything else has gone down. Okay, so this is in a way, because this is maybe a bit theoretical, but I hope I'm showing um, how it can be done in practice. So this would be my suggested growth plan. Um, week 1, choose a profit driver to improve. Week 2, just implement one small change. So let's keep it nice and easy. Don't try and do everything at once. Week 3, track the outcome. Week 4, reflect and compound gains. And next month, um, do another one. So, yeah. So if you have a business and you're interested in exploring this with me in greater detail and maybe connecting your own data, QuickBooks Zero or Sage, then I can plug your accounting data into my software and through how this would apply to your business. And then I would, there's a fee for that, obviously, of 190 plus VAT. If you're interested, this is a link to where you can book a call to discuss this further, and then we discuss it with them on Zoom, and then you can pay that, and we can go ahead with this session. Um, okay, so I noticed. So obviously, I've been chatting to you, Frederic. I don't know if Alexandra or Kay, if you would like to say anything or put anything into chat. You don't have to, but just, oh, the one that went said, thank you, I'm from Kent. Now, I'm actually from Kent originally, so pity she's gone now, or I would have talked to her about that. So, Kay, hi, Kay, how you doing? Do you have any comments or anything about the presentation or any questions? Okay, thank you very much. Do you have any type of business or do you want to tell us about your business? Okay, fantastic. Um, are there any of these drivers that you think, do you post or send the slides? I can send them to you. Oh, no audio. Okay, no worries. I can send you the slides, Frederick. So if you want to, I don't know if you've got your email address though.
I'm not using very much Zoom.
You're not
I
using very
think
much Zoom.
the address, or I can send you the email address from my company.
Okay. I'll just take it off. I'll just take it off. Yeah, you can do it as a personal message and then it won't come up. Uh,
Huh.
or you can send me a message on Meetup if
Yeah,
that's
perfect.
yeah. Okay.
Super.
All right. Um, okay. Do I have any strategies for scaling? Okay. So let's share my screen again. So you saw this example. So this is a strategy for scaling from there to there. And so what this is suggesting, it's only increasing certain things by very small amounts, which should be relatively easy to do. Now, at the moment, you would be in, if you're small, you would control everything. But if you had a larger company, you would get maybe a chief marketing officer who'd be in charge, or fractional chief marketing officer who'd be in charge of customers, retention, invoices, and invoice value, and then you'd get the chief operations officer, fractional COO, would be responsible for the gross margin and overheads. So you wouldn't be doing it all yourself. Um, so this is a way of doing incremental changes. You can scale, as you see, you can scale really fast. Basically, in 4 years, you're basically going up 10 times, which is scaling fast relatively easily. But obviously, um, it depends on your product and if what the gap in the market and how good you are at converting into sales. Uh, you're a small consultancy at the moment, but hopefully be a big consultancy. Uh, do you want to say a bit about, Kay, do you want to say a bit, fingers crossed. Do you want to say a bit about what services you offer? Because then, you know, there might be someone watching this um, presentation that might be interested. Data analytics and AI. Business intelligence, AI, data platforms, data strategy. Yeah. Well, I think a lot of companies need that. It's just you just need to get out there, make yourself visible. In a way, it's a bit like, I mean, I know you provide a different service, Frederick, but I think it's the same. Unlike me, we're all B2B, we're all helping businesses. Um, so it's a case of first getting noticed, uh, then making the uh, business understand how we can really help them. Because most people, like in my case, they think, you know, who needs accounts? We've been managing totally fine without numbers. We don't really understand them, but everything seems to work. They might think, well, we've been working happily without business intelligence, AI, etc. Um, and also what you do, Frederick. So it's a way of how do you communicate your service in terms of demonstrating how this will help them make more money at the end of the day. I mean, how would you do that, Frederick? With your first of all, for the benefit of Kay, do you want to say again what service your sort of startup sustainability, isn't it? Sustainability with eco, social sustainability. Yeah, do you want to say about the sort of service that you're providing?
Me?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I will tackle different steps. So the first step will be a website, a platform with news, a podcast, presentation of manufacturers who are producing goods and services. And the second step will be applications, so apps about because I'm specialized in city development. So there's going to be apps or a big app for community and authorities, a bottom up approach, but the app costs quite a lot. So I will start first to give market power to small companies, family-run companies who don't have enough budget to reach the amount of customer to have a good sell. So this will give enough capital to reinvest for apps and other strategies which are on in the pipeline.
Okay. And the basic service that you offer
I
is
offer services, or we offer service that we approve that their goods and services are on the way to the sustainable transition in terms of economy, but also ecology and social. Is it well paid? Are the products sustainable? Which degree of sustainability has the product? So the customer has has a better overview about what he is or she is buying. So avoiding certificates. We have lots of certificates, but people they don't have a clue what certificates really mean. So if we can build up the corporate identity of the company as a sustainable, approved company for product and services and build up a community, there is a community and needs to buy sustainable products and
okay.
services.
Okay, so the word sustainable, I understand it's used in ecological sense, like, in terms of, we're going to run out of oil. We're moving towards net zero and so on. But what do you mean? Do you have other uses of the word sustainability you're thinking?
It's also the social impact.
Social
Uh,
impact. Can you give an
yeah,
example of?
for example, is the social impact is the security, labor security guaranteed? Are they well paid? Can they live with the income
Okay,
of producing the product? Isn't
okay.
all this stuff?
So you're thinking of the people so if a business comes to you, you might say, um, what you're doing is working at the moment, but in the future you're going to have problems because ecology is going to change, so you're not really going to be able to produce it. Also, you're not paying in the future, your staff will need more money and you're not going to be able to pay that, and also the labor, you won't feel secure, so you need to offer them sort of longer term contracts, that sort of thing, so they're going to stay with you long term.
It's their choice if they want to sell their products on my platform, but our
Yeah.
platform are quite strict in terms of sustainability. Uh,
Yes. Okay. So it's also, I mean, I know that, for example, some investment funds, they invest in what they call ethical businesses.
yeah,
So you could say, well, if you if they come onto your platform, that means that you're treating your workers well, you're giving them long-term security, paying them well, you're working towards making the environment better and so on.
but
And by that, you might get better. Able might help you sell more because all these sort of people who buy unethical
we
reasons.
tackle also the problem or boost the interesting we are also boosting the platform to be more interesting by sustaining manufacturers or services which needs investment in in a later perspective. So if
Yes.
someone has a plan to make a startup about something kind of manufacture which helps a community, a family, a village, so we will be here and support them.
So you can help them raise money.
But also by selling the products we say, for instance, you support with purchasing this product, this and this project.
That's great. So there's a couple of comments on chat. So thank you for posting, Alexandra. No problems. Frederick, actually, he doesn't have a business at the moment. He's just talking about one he's going to start. So Alexandra, do you have any ideas what sort of business you'd like to start? And also, Case just asked you a question, Frederick. Sounds like you're at an exciting stage, perhaps a bit stressful. And what's your go-to-market approach? So, would you want to answer Kay's question, Frederick?
I don't really understand the question. What's your go-to-market approach? How I will tackle the market? I don't really understand the question. Sorry.
Would you like to clarify your question, Kay? And yeah, Alexandra, if you'd like to yeah, say what sort of business you might want to start as well, that would be interesting.
Ah, okay, good. So, oh, good.
Yeah, because
Um,
I'll tell you why she's asking that. Because Kay wants to
strategy for
acquire,
acquisitions.
she wants to
So,
acquire, she wants to copy your ideas. So,
yeah. So we have different products. So we have products for normal customers. We have products um, for authorities. So it's the smart city application, which helps authorities to have projects which worked out in other countries or in other cities. So it reduced cost for them. So we have the strategy authority, but also strategy normal customers. And by for normal customers, we have different products. So at the moment, we are starting with a target group between 18 and 30. This is our target group because they are most aware about climate change, about sustainability. They don't have lots of cash, so the products aren't that expensive, but are sustainable. And from then on, so we also do contents in social media, and yeah, we tackle this with uh, with contents through social media, but also from the web page.
do you have a big social media following?
We are building up because everything has been set up last week. Email address, social media address, accounts, market expertise, but also communication experts and social media content experts. So this is really the start.
Okay. I mean, if you like, I'll briefly show you what I'm doing. So this is my website, Redbox Financial, and so I like to. This is what I just showed you, some screenshots to trying to convey what I just speaking about. I also do a lot of videos because I think I suppose for my service is quite personal. They're hiring me, so they've got to. Kate, just thank you for sharing, by the way. It's partly about building a connection as well. So video is a fantastic way of doing that, and I post on these social media platforms, especially my biggest one is TikTok, and as you can see, I've got 24,000 followers there, and this post actually got 2.1 million views, which is my biggest one. And I have put a lot of ad spend on TikTok. Uh, Also, I use this repurpose no .io. I don't know if you've heard of that, Frederick. But the idea is, so if I post on TikTok, uh, this will repost it automatically.
Hmm.
It will automatically post it to all my other, uh,
Yeah, this
yeah,
is the team who is doing this because I'm not very good in computing. I'm good in strategy approach
yeah.
and languages and law and
You got a team of
international,
people that will do this for you. Yeah,
yeah, international
exactly.
business development.
Yeah, yeah.
And at the end, the website is going to be like a TV station, but interactive and not a traditional TV station. It's more like a mix about social media and TV station with shortcuts, with short contents, with short advertisements. So the platform will also sell advertisement for from companies who are sustainable or on the way to be sustainable. Could be electric power companies and so on.
Okay,
So to gain the market power.
that's fantastic. Yeah, so you're doing a lot of uh, outreach, well, creating content on social media, trying to build up your audience, get your message across, uh, and then presumably you will have some form of sales process, some pipeline where what you offer some maybe a lead magnet, a free something, and then they get your lead magnet, then they get on your list, and then you can communicate with them, get on a call. Is it done by personal selling, Frederick? Is it like, like I get on a Zoom call with people, or is it all sort of automated? Your
So the idea is later on to get ambassadors from every country.
Wow.
So every country has his channel with his languages, but it's reunited here in Switzerland or in Europe. So it's going to be more intercultural but international platform where with AI makes instant translation when we have, for instance, an interview about, I don't know, water purification in India
Mm.
or a project to purify water in Thailand.
Yeah.
So the project, it's all about not bad news, what happens in the world. It's all about
Yes.
more good news, what's
Fantastic. I think
going
we get too
on.
much bad news, don't we?
Maybe
Uh,
I'm too positive, but I think
Well, it's good to at least have a balance, isn't it? Yes.
we
Yeah,
need a channel like this
we do.
where young people are having a platform, what they do and what they do for the society and the planet.
Fantastic. I mean, did you want to say what your website is? Do you want to put it in chat if you
It's not online yet.
not online yet? Okay.
No, no, it's all on the.
Do you know what your domain name is going to
Yeah,
be?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
octroi. Octroi is an old French word.
How do you spell that?
I've write it.
Yeah.
www.octroi.com, but it's gonna be EU and it's gonna be CH as well.
Oh.
And
So
octroi is an old French verb.
trois is
O-
three, isn't it?
Oct is eight and trois is three, but it
Yeah.
has also the name roi, king. But octroi is giving a permission to something.
Oh,
So in the
okay.
medieval time, we had at the entrance of the city always like a toll,
Hmm.
and over the toll it was written octroi in France,
Okay. Oh,
especially,
really? Okay.
and it gave permission to go in with their products into the city. So
Okay.
this is also the idea of the website. We give permission to go into the website after we give approve ness that the product is sustainable in
Yeah, you
terms
have to
of
give them the
social,
approval
economy,
certification.
ecology.
Fantastic. Um, well, I'll watch out for that. And so Alexandra's replied. So she's considering doing creating digital projects, products like tutorials and courses related to psychology and coaching. So it's her idea at the moment, but she still needs to learn a lot. Yeah, that's fantastic. Um, so Alexandra, have you created any content yet, Alexandra? Any have you done any videos, any social media posts? Because then, you have to start somewhere. And also, even if you create digital products, it's the same skill set, really, I think, because what you're doing is you're communicating your knowledge and vision uh, by video, and then also with you can use social media to test things out. What is your uh, post with the biggest success, and then you could sort of build a course around that. So it's a way of getting data. Um, yeah. So have you started anything at all, Alexandra, or are you still? It's just at the ideas phase. And Kay, do you have a website that you want to share for your consultancy or anything, or do you or any social media sites, or are you creating content? Uh, okay, so let's share and let's have a look at some of these. Uh, where's the chat gone? I think I have to. There we go. There we go. So let's have a look at Nimble. Okay, I had a look at analytics and AI expertise. Um, Complimentary offer, risk-free Power BI engagement. I love Power BI, by the way. Um, it's fantastic. I actually use it with my clients as well. And most people, have you heard of Power BI, Frederick?
Again, the question, sorry, if I
This, you see
have.
at the top, Power BI stands for Power Business Intelligence. You probably might not have heard of it if you're not into examining
No,
data so much,
no.
but it's where you can look at your data visually. You click on something, and then everything else changes on the page, and it's great for sort of top executives. So you do consulting, Azure, yeah, Power BI, all these Microsoft products, report automation, data strategy, upskilling, support, case studies, open projects, about, blog. Yeah, you got some. Oh, great! You got some uh, testimonials here, and you got some blog articles. Yeah, looks fantastic. So, do you have any social media? Oh, here, no, follow us. So you're not active on social media then? Uh, I mean, I would like me. I mean, I like videos. Uh, I like pictures. I suppose that this is to do with my personal brand, my pictures, and then I've YouTube videos and videos on TikTok. Uh, I think some people might prefer text, and other people might prefer videos. Um, so so Frederick, do you have your site? Do you have any ideas what no videos yet? Okay, fair enough. Do you have any ideas what your site's going to look like? Is it going to look like this with a lot of text, or are you going to add
No,
video?
no, it's going to be interactive with
Oh,
QR codes. So
QR code.
people on the screen, on TV, or on the channel, they can also play with a QR code if there's a topic which are in interest. Sorry. And then it comes on their screen. And they can take more informations about it because the concentration time for youngsters at the moment is between 5 and 7 minutes maximum. So the
Yeah.
content's going to be very short. That's why TikTok is so successful because it's no longer than 2 minutes, I think.
Yeah. No, you can
And
do longer ones.
yeah, and
But
then so it's going to be very short. The short content, short views. So if they want to know more, they can access with a QR code or websites or links. So it's very interactive.
yeah, I think that's yeah, that's really good. Yeah, because then it would just grab their attention. So I'll just show you what this is Power BI. So this is using dummy data. And in this example, this is the overheads. So this is basically built so there's some massive amount of data which is in the accounting software that gets pulled into Excel into a CSV file. Then that synchronizes with Power BI, and you can build these things. So the size of the square is proportional to the amount. If it's red, it means it's getting worse. So it means the amount of rent is higher than last year. If it's green, it's reducing. And then if you click on one of these, you can see it by month compared to last year. You see all these change. So this is an example of something built in Power BI. I've also seen examples where you've got a sort of a map of the country with maybe different cities on, and you click on a city and you can just see the city's results. But for a lot of people, especially directors and chief executives and so on, they need things very simple. So this is different product lines, for example. So something like this, very visual, is a lot easier for them to understand what's going on. Anyway, it's coming up to 8:30, so I don't want to take up any more of your time. But it's been lovely to meet you all, and I'll definitely send you the slides, Frederick, and
Thank
and
you.
hopefully I'll see you on future meetups.
Yes.
All the
Thank
best.
thank you
Thanks.
very much, Keith.
Thank you, Kay. Thank you, Frederick. Bye. Thank you, Alexandra. Bye.